Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman from the Dark Knight Trilogy, which I think this is the suit from at least the third movie, or the second and third movie, the same suit. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's some differences. I don't have them memorized, but I definitely know it's not the first suit. Anyway, this figure is one that a lot of people are excited about. People like these movies a lot, and some people like the suits a lot too, and this figure is the first in this scale that I'm aware of that is highly articulated. Is it any good though? Well, there are some really good things that are going on here, and then there are some horrible things, really, really bad things. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands, not counting his ear tips, because that wouldn't work for scale, just about 18.5 centimeters. That's going to make him pretty close to 7¼ inches. Just for some reference, here he is up against a Marvel Legends Darwin. I would say that's about right, since he's a different scale. And before we get into the review, I just want to mention that this wave of figures does have a Build-A-Figure. It is Bane from the movie. As of right now, I'm only going to get Batman and Joker. I have those two. I wasn't going to get the other two. But when I saw this Bane leg in the package, and that this is the neutral position for the joints, I'm thinking to myself, I might have to build Bane just to review him. Let me know what you guys think. Should I do that? Because I lined up the sculpt on the ankle, and I lined up the sculpt on the knee, and this is the neutral position for the leg. Now, you can make it a little bit better if you line up the back of the knee sculpt. It's a little bit straighter, but it's still like he's got some kind of condition going on in the leg. So I'm wondering if you guys want me, well, let's line this up too. I'm wondering if you guys want me to review Bane. That's the shape they want it to be in, but then they sculpted it and cut it like this. So let me know. Let me know what you guys want me to get Bane. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a quick question of the day. Which movie Batman suit is your favorite? It's not based on the actor, it's not based on the film, just which suit. I know a lot of people like to give Ben Affleck a lot of crap based on the movies he's in, but I'm not talking about the movies. No writing, none of it, just the suit look. For me, I think maybe Val Kilmer. I think his suit was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I like Ben Affleck's a little bit, but I don't know. I like it a lot, actually, but I don't know if I like it the most. Okay, let me know what you guys think. So let's go ahead and get into the aesthetic on this guy. Proportioning isn't terrible, but it's not good. If you look at his hips and his chest, he's basically the same size as straight up. Like, there's a little bit, it pinches in at the waist. He's got kind of an hourglass figure, which is a little bit unfortunate, and it does look to me like his legs are a little bit bigger than they should be, or his arms are a little bit smaller than they should be, but there's definitely some weirdness going on in the proportioning. I'd say the arm length is pretty close to okay, but they're definitely a little shrimpy. The legs don't look too bad, but maybe if they were closer together and he didn't have such birthing hips, that would help. He has really, really wide hips and a big thigh gap, so it does throw it off a little bit. The detail sculpt work is pretty clean though, pretty solid. There's not a lot to complain about there. It looks nice. You can see the textures in the undersuit portions. The belt looks really good. Love the belt. That might be the best thing on the figure. But we do have some nice details throughout, so that's good. Like that. The head is not a bad sculpt at all. Maybe the nose is a little bit long and the jaw sticks out a little bit, but it's overall a pretty good sculpt. It definitely is close enough that I don't think anybody would really complain about it unless they're like a die-hard Batman, Christian Bale Batman fan. Then they're like, yeah, it's not perfect, but it looks alright and the paints are clean enough, so that's fine. I'd say the mouth is close enough to a Christian Bale mouth that I think that's passable. The only other thing really worth mentioning is, well, I guess there's two things. The cape, he wasn't known for having a huge cape, but it is a little bit underwhelming. It throws off the look of the figure a little bit. It makes him look kind of wimpy. His shoulders are a little bit underdeveloped. They're a little low, and especially given that he has armor plating up here, his shoulders are pretty low and small, so that's not great. And then I guess the last thing that I'll mention, the true last thing, is that he's pretty gray. He's a lot grayer than I think he should be. I don't know how much of a big deal that is, but I don't remember him being this gray. I remember it being like two different blacks, closer to two different blacks than a very clear gray and black combo. But maybe I'm remembering incorrectly. You guys can let me know. Yeah, it's not terrible looking so far. So, aesthetically speaking, I'll give it a 7. It's not particularly good. It's not particularly bad. There's a lot of room for improvement. Now, as far as accessories go, well, but there's some good and bad. We do have his solid gold Grapnel gun. Why is it solid gold? It was not solid gold in the movie, was it? I don't believe it was. It is mostly the right scale though, so that's a good thing they're improving. Then we do have his batarangs, which we get 3 of them, which is nice. And they're sculpted pretty well, but they are huge. They're really, really big. And were they gold? I remember them being black. Maybe they were gold, but I thought they were black. You guys can let me know if I'm right or wrong. So far the accessories are kind of strange. Solid gold is definitely weird. We do get his black plastic display stand, which is as impressive as ever. And then lastly, we get what looks like a concept art type of thing. The trading card for Batman. It's kind of a cool image though. I'll take that. Better than having a photoshopped version of the action figure. So accessory wise, 5 out of 10. An alternate fist hand might be nice, like 2 fist hands. I'll take that. The trigger finger hand, not anywhere near as important, if you ask me. All right. Okay, so let's talk about the articulation. The head is on a double ball peg. So he can lean side to side. He can look up. They could have given him a little bit more clearance, but he can look up and down pretty well. Obviously you have the rotation, and you can lean and rotate, or lean and look down. I don't know how you would phrase that. Leaning in 2 different directions is what I'm trying to say. That is the wonderful benefit of having a double ball peg in the neck. Very nice neck. Overall looks pretty good. Shoulder pad is soft and connected down at the shoulder. Probably would have been better on the bicep, but let's see. If you put it over the cape, can you raise the arm? I'm getting real sick of McFarlane Toys have. Oh my gosh. So I was going to get to that part. I'm getting sick of them making crappy figures because they definitely know better. They've made so many good figures over the years that they definitely know better. So I can't get that. The shoulder joint just won't move. So I don't know if this shoulder pad being soft works or not. You do get your full rotation, but I can't even get the ball part to move. So the caps, I don't know if they work. Now the bicep swivel, I was expecting that to happen. I just wasn't expecting the shoulder to pop off and then the arm. So you do get a bicep swivel, which is okay. So yeah, I guess it's better that this is connected at the shoulder. That's probably for the best. But the bicep swivel works, but that happens on both sides. So somebody is just really, really incompetent at McFarlane Toys. At least a somebody. I think there might be more than one somebody though. I've talked about this, I think in the last McFarlane review. It's just incompetence at this point. As a company, they have the experience, but they seem to be hiring people that don't know what the heck they're doing, and the people in charge of them are letting it through. So having the arms just pop off and you can't move them, like he can't put his arms down farther than that. And if you try to, that happens. So that's not really acceptable. Double jointed elbow. Plenty of range. Not the best looking thing in the world, but it does give you the range. And you have the ball hinge wrist, which is fine. That's good. For the torso, he can lean back like nobody's business. He's leaning all the way back. That is good, but there's no real gap here, so I'm guessing he can't go forward at all. And I'm right. That's as far forward as he can go. Going side to side does work nicely, so I do like that. And then your waist twist, your rib twist is okay. Lower torso leans back a little bit, not a ton. Leans forward a little bit. Both together, that's as far as he can lean forward. Basically none at all. And then does it move side to side? It does move side to side a fair bit. So the bottom one's not too bad, and it also does rotate. So that's okay. Let's see if his big birthing hips work. Going out to the side, that's about as far as you're going to get. The diaper just comes down a little bit too low, and it just pushes him back. I'm not doing that second part. It's doing that. But that's probably enough. Realistically speaking, it's probably okay. Bringing the leg forward, diaper is just too low and too wide, so it does get in the way. You can get decent range out of there, but if they just cut more out right here to make it shaped less like a diaper and more like a Speedo, for instance, that would give him much better range, which you could do yourself with an X-Acto. Just be careful, but technically I don't recommend that because of the, legal things, probably. Let's check his cake rating real quick. He has basically no cake. I'll give him a 1 out of 10. There's very, very little cake going on there at all. Very little. Let's see if the leg can go back. Yeah, not so much. Not really. Just a little bit. Thigh swivel is basically non-existent. Virtually nothing there. And then proportioning is nice on the legs. I'll give him that. It's pretty darn good. Double knee does work nicely. Could be a little stiffer. And they also didn't sculpt it horribly like they have done in the past. Normally there's some thigh chunks connected to the knee. This time it's just knee pads, so that's pretty good. And then lastly, we have the sculpted ankle ball hinge, which does go all the way back and pretty far forward. That's good. Ankle rocker is a little bit steep, but because it's a ball hinge, you can just get it to wherever you want. So the ankle is pretty nice. It is heavily ratcheted. It feels like it has maybe a notch or two extra than we normally see. So that's a little bit better, but the heavy ratchet does make it difficult to find a neutral position. Toe hinge is in the right place. It's sculpted well enough, but it's very loose. So articulation on this guy is halfway okay, halfway solid, and then halfway just it falls apart and doesn't work. So falling apart is definitely an issue. The shoulders don't work, they rip out, and then the bicep swivel. I'm gonna go 5 out of 10 for articulation. I can't abide arms that fall off in 2 different places, and they don't function in the meantime. But the rest of it does work fairly well, I guess. So, you know, you can decide what's important to you, but it's time for me to give it a final rating, and it's better than I thought it was gonna be. But it does have a lot of the problems I thought it was gonna have, and some extras. So I'm gonna give this guy a final rating of only 6 out of 10. The accessories being solid gold, that's a little weird. Maybe the batarangs are okay, but the gun definitely shouldn't be solid gold. The arms falling off, that's no good. Can't lean forward. Really wide hips, narrow chest. You know, it's just like, is he supposed to be realistic or not? Because the narrow chest would have been okay. Like if you just look at that, it doesn't look terrible. The shoulders could be a little better, but adding in those really big legs and hips doesn't look good. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with 6 out of 10. Definitely could have been a whole lot better without costing the company any more. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.